Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and today we are going to be looking at a very violent fairy. What the hell? She's just like, no, I will defend my master's honor. I appreciate that, but right now we need to talk about something else, so just take a chill pill, hon. Just relax. And we are going to be looking at the final basic in the water element, Frostblade. Now, I'm relatively certain that many of you knew that this was coming, mostly just trial and error, but also just because it is one of the ones that I use the most when it comes to water-based basics, and we're going to find out why today. So, this is also one of those basics that has the charge mechanic. So, as you can see, you can just tap the spell out, but if you hold it down, you get that. And and we'll be getting into the details on that, but just keep in mind that it gives versatility to the attack. So, let's quick go over the basics. So, the first swipe is just the swipes just alternate between left and right. Just whichever one happened last, it'll be the one that happens again. But it all works out kind of the same way. It's just this, like, it even hits slightly behind you, just because that's where the blade starts. And it almost gives the spell like a 360-degree curve for its damage. And it's nice. It's real nice. But, so we have an approximate idea of the hit zone. Let's go over the damage. First strike does 7. Second strike also does 7, so you got 14 right there. And then if you just go boom, 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 7, 7, 14. So it's a 28 damage combo. Not bad. So, but now if we do the charged final hit, it goes 7, 7. And then it looks like it's 2 7s and a 14, so... That might be more than that, because, so 7, 7, 14 is 28, then to get to 42, you need 14 damage. Alright, so that should give you an idea. So it goes 7, 7, then 7, 7, so 14, 28, plus 14. So there you go. And the charged attack leaves enemies frozen with that same, with greater range, because you see the wave of ice extends out a bit, scores multiple hits, and freezes enemies. Now, this is just a beautiful, beautiful attack, and I can say very little bad about this attack. But now, let's enhance it. So as you can see, it doesn't do any more damage, but it's also now got a much wider range. But again, the damage doesn't change. Well, actually it does. So what happens is the charged hit changes. Instead of doing 7, 7, 14, it does 14, 14, 14. So much higher damage. And it leaves enemies frozen for much longer. As you can see, the range on that final hit is also much larger than it was when it was unenhanced. So you just get more range and more freeze time and more damage. It's just overall a much more consistent, much more abusable basic with a nice wide range that can do multiple things. You can just spam it out for damage, or for control, you hold the charge, freeze enemies, and that sets them up for other things. Now, this is one of the Arcana that I like to use when I'm going for the Ultra Combo. Ultra Combo, in case you guys don't remember, is when you go boom, boom, boom. Then you draw the enemies back in with your whirlpool, and just keep going like that. Now, I am a big fan of Ultra Combo. And this actually makes it easier because you can freeze the enemies in between the steps for Ultra Combo. And there you go. That is a beautiful 446 damage combo with barely any effort. That's not necessarily what I'm going to be going with today. I just wanted to show you that that's one of the things that you can do. As far as how the candies interact, I'm not going to tell you anything you haven't already heard. What that boils down to is that, honestly, the Cabby Citrus Sweets attack is just janky. Like, if it had much less knockback and just hit them with, like, a minor knockback, a ball lightning, and the shock effect, it would be so much better than the huge knockback that it does. As is, Cabby Citrus Sweets is really only usable when you have a projectile-based basic. Otherwise, you're better off just leaving this alone. And even then, if you have a projectile-based basic, I would still probably recommend Cabby's Bubblegum first. Like, this is easily the worst of the Cabby's candies. But, so let's go ahead and smash the Idealist Mirror, get ourselves 7 years bad luck, and see how our baby works with Sidewinder's badge. So now the 7s are followed up by an additional hit for 2. So that makes it 18 instead of 14, not bad. And then the 14 is followed up by a 4. So now instead of doing 28, you're doing 36, which is beautiful. Now how does that change up the final hit, though? 2, 2, 4. Alright, so... Alright, so there were some critical hits in there. I'm going to try to show it to you without the criticals. Full combo does 54. It'll do even more when you've got the enhanced version, and I can actually do the damage calculation on that right now. So on the 14s, which is of course hitting with both blades at once, it hits for 4. So with the way it is right now, you're essentially hitting 9, 9, 18, which is already pretty impressive. But with the enhanced version, you'll be hitting 18, 18, 18. So that's 9, 18, 36, 15, 36, hold on while I do the math, 54, 62 damage on the enhanced version if you've got Sidewinder's badge with this enhanced. Plus a huge amount of control, that's really nice. Now, the only downsides that I will obviously offer you with Frostblades is that, one, a few. So we'll go over them, though. One, in comparison to ranged basics, like, Bouncing Blaze, the range is a little on the low side, but you've also got quite a bit to work with sideways, so that makes up for it. The charge is, of course, slow, so you don't want to use it all the time. And, of course, because the charge is slow, it's a little bit iffy on bosses. But, I mean, if those are the only huge negative points I have to say about this one, we're doing pretty good. So let's go ahead and set ourselves up with a run, and I will show you guys how to do this. Alright, so we're going to want some sort of ranged attack just to make good use of what we have. One of the ways to really make this one stand out, because it's a charge one, is you can go ahead and start yourself with... I'm not going to recommend combo gloves, but if you have evening gloves, now that doesn't improve your charge time, but that's an idea. But what I was thinking is start with the Chrono Glove. That basically makes it so that there's no charge on the charged version. Now, I'm not going to start with that because that honestly makes this one a little too good. But consider, if you will, the sort of damage and control you can get off by using both Chrono Glove and Combo Glove. Pretty nice, isn't it? Yeah, baby. Alright, so how are we going to do this? As per usual, I'm going to go ahead and give myself the red robe to essentially act as my example robe. We're going to take off the Chrono Glove. And we're going to start ourselves with... Let's actually start with something on the defensive end of things. We're going to start with Jade's Chakra Locket. So, because of the just little bit of damage up you get here, it's now doing 8, 8, 16. Which, of course, will be 8, 8, 8, 8, 16. So 16, 32... And then my brain stops working. 16, 32, 48, I believe, is the number we're looking at. There we go, my brain started working again. So let's go ahead and get ourselves another kind of somewhere in the middle Arcana that lets us have a bit more control over what's going on the battlefield. Because, as you well know about me, I am the type of guy that really works well with consistency. And if something is nice and consistent, hey, big shock, I'm gonna rate it higher. Like, there's plenty of Arcana out there that will have, like, big effects, but aren't very consistent in those effects. And I will say about those particular Arcana, take it or leave it. But if I can get something to work particularly well just on its own, like if I don't have to like jump through hoops to get a spell that I'm working with to work right, now we're talking. That's when I'm a happy boy. In case you're wondering, yes, I am having a hard time deciding what I want to use. I think I'm just going to go with Twin Turbines. We've got the classic Delta Force. We've got Ice, Lightning, and Fire coming together in a beautiful Chrono Trigger triple tech. So, if there were a place where I'm saying I should start just to get it out of the way, you know, front load the difficulty, it would probably be the Twins. And you know what? Let's have some fun with this. Let's go ahead and use the retro floor plan. Really show off just how well the Frostblades can control space. The other reason is, even though we're going to be taking more damage because there's going to be more enemies, that also means that we're going to be making more money because, hey, there's more enemies. Hey, Dark Sage, weren't you forgetting something? The soundtrack change. Yes, I completely forgot. There we go. See, the retro floor plan is also going to be good for helping us charge up things like our basics. It's also going to be worth more money. We can get more potential item drops off of enemies. Like, the retro floor plan is like a double-edged sword. It's like, yeah, it's more dangerous, but there's also a greater reward. You just have to spend just a little bit of extra time in combat, and presto changeo, you're a beast. Now, that is going to be particularly difficult on the higher floors, because that is going to entail more enemies charging in wildly at me, like an untamed boar. But I mean, that's also part of why I took the retro floor plan. I'm dumb. That's part of why I took the... Sorry, that's part of why I took Jade's Chakra Locket. You know, just to be prepared. Okay, well, let's not take that, because we're sticking with the same basic. I am, however, going to take the Bouncing Bubbles just for even more control. And I'll decide whether or not I want Dragon Circuit later. So as you can see, the Frost Blades are doing a great job of helping me hold back the multitudes that I'm facing. And you'll get to see even more fun happen once I get these bad boys enhanced. Yeah, there's a reason why if I'm taking a water-based basic, I'm almost always looking at Frost Blades. But I've also started to understand just how strong and effective Aqua Arc can be and started using that too. Part of the beauty of doing this series is that you sometimes find things that you didn't know you would like. And that's also why I like it when you guys send me in runs to try out. Because sometimes I find things that, hey, didn't think I would like it, but ooh, it worked out really well. Iffy. I don't know if I want that. I like the idea of Tattered Scroll, but in conjunction with the Retro Floor Plan, is it really a good idea? Because on top of also getting more signature charge, I'm also taking more damage. At the same time, I can see it being highly worth my while. Alright, give me that, I want it. That's actually not that useful. And actually, the Dragon Circuit might not be a bad idea to take with me. It just means we can do overall more damage to Freya, and it gives us more control. So we may actually already have a... Now, obviously, you just noticed that the Retro Floor Plan does not affect boss encounters. Honestly, that's good, because if it did, oh boy, this would be a much different run. It'd be a run where I'm just constantly being kicked around. It's like, why are there two strafe archers? Oh god, the humanity! I think Darkseid really likes that line. There we go. Ow. Yes, that's the sort of thing that can happen if you're not careful with the Retro Floor Plan on. So I am stating right now that because of that, there is a possibility that I might not make it all the way through the run, but God help me, I am going to try. Ooh, I see 3 things here that could make a difference, but I'm earning more money than usual, so I'm not going to worry about Wall of Splendor. I may very well want to just take with me the luxury handbag. Actually, I really like the retro floor plan. I have a lot of fun with the retro floor plan even when I'm not being very careful with it. Because one thing it's also doing is it's making it so that the enemies have less health. So it's even though there's more of them, I can take them down with a bit more ease. Now, of course, this doesn't affect boss fights and mini bosses, so. Take it all with a grain of salt. I wanted to add a little bit of extra challenge for myself and have some fun with this run. Okay, we will take the tapping gloves, because they are good. Alright, and that means that Iris is probably down here. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Give. Alright. And yes, now we will take the luxury handbag. Very nice, very nice. Alright, I am not going to take that. I should be able to beat the twins without too much hassle. Ooh, 359 damage. Yeah, there were a couple of rooms there where I just got slapped around. Don't make that same mistake. Don't get slapped around. Pay attention to your surroundings. Don't walk off of cliffs while playing Pokemon Go. Ooh, still too raw? There you go, beautifully orchestrated fight. You like that? You like that choreography? That's like Jackie Chan levels of choreography there, baby. Now, we're going to run into a little bit of a problem here, because Freya and her mooks are immune to freezing. I mean, bosses are immune to freezing anyway, but that's why we picked up so many electric-based things. So that we can still have control over the battlefield, while... Okay, so... Sorry, I got sidetracked by seeing Dr. Song, but with all the electricity I have on the field, I can still maintain control over the battlefield, while simultaneously getting to take advantage of the Frostblade's high damage. Consistency in my direction? What is that? Let's see. Oh, you've got the beautiful merchant's carts. Oh, you know I want that. And we'll probably be able to afford that by the end of the end of the floor. Oh. Matter of fact, I can afford it now, but first... Alright, so now we've got the portal open. Let's go back and trade Dr. Song, our regular version of Bouncing Bubble. We get a heal, and we get the prescription bottle. Okay. I hope I don't need to make use of that, but you know what? I have it. Better to have it than to not. Plus, I can always give it to the adorable Mimic if we find that. Like, I hate to say it, but prescription bottle is generally kind of useless. But let me now backtrack and give a big, huge but that's really only true of someone at my level of play with a lot of practice at the game. If you need the prescription bottle and the extra if you need the prescription bottle because you need the extra potions, don't let anyone say anything to you about it. If you need it, use it. That's what it's there for. I am not a smug elitist bastard, most of the time. And I understand that different relics just have different uses for different folks. I'm okay with that. Anything that makes a game more accessible, more interesting, and have more essentially right answers to its puzzles is a thing that I am all for. And hey, there have been times when I've needed the prescription bottle before, so again, don't let anyone tell you, oh, you're gonna use that? That makes you a loser. You know what makes you a loser? Pretending like your clout means something. Hey, we're playing video games here. I guess I can't even necessarily say that, because if you're playing a game on a competitive level, I mean, there's something to think about there, but I guess what I'm saying is, on the whole, don't be an elitist jerk. People are allowed to play games the way they like. Like, even if it's a game that I really like to take seriously, that doesn't mean that everyone else has to play it the way that I do. That's just stupid. Alright, I already got it. I guess it just really boils down to one very simple phrase and idea: don't be a dick. Hello. So what is that going to affect? That's it. Okay, but I mean, it's affecting my signature, so I definitely want to keep that around. I see Nocturne the Cardist over here, but I'm really only going to be worried about his services if I find a freebie. Because at this point, I pretty much have my setup. Oh, we just found everybody. Everybody's here! Hey, y'all, help me pick some relics. I have 2 water and 2 electricity, so it's probably not a good idea. We're gonna grab that just in case. same with that. Another good way to look at the retro floor plan is essentially as additional money throughout your run. So you can afford to be a bit more reckless with your savings. You know, drop that money on some shop-related items. Feel free to spend a little bit on just random trash. Basically, when you're taking the retro floor plan, you're spending 25 chaos gems to say, yes, I will take the risk because it's worth the reward. Hey, remember what I was saying about freebies? My aim is a thing of beauty. Yes, I'll definitely take Sturdy Wooden Easel. I like him. I like a little bit more defense. Of course, what I really like is just stomping the crap out of my enemies, but, you know, it's hard to do that if you're not alive. Alright, so we'll go ahead and give over Earthen Aegis. Our last opponent is Wind Base, so we could use some good fire spells. You know, like that one. It's honestly all I really want, is just that one. Alright. Is there anything else that I want? Not really. I think I'll just call it good. There we go. Once again, an excellently choreographed battle by yours truly. It's like I was born to do this. Okay, yeah, room full of archers, not fun. It's basically a room full of guys going, yeah, let's just kind of plink you from forever away. And what can you do about it? Nothing, because there's frickin' 8 of us. There's really no reason not to do this. Just make all of our stats better. Anything here I want? We're gonna take Curse Eater's Vest, just because. It's not just because, you know why I'm taking Curse Eater's Vest. Then... things that we can give up for better relics should we find them. So I can probably stand to get rid of the prescription bottle, I can get rid of that, and if push comes to shove, I can get rid of these two. But it's gonna take some pretty decent relics, because right now, the effects of those are much appreciated. Except for the carrot cake. I basically just took that just in case I find... the spiked emergency kit. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I actually have a lot of fun with the retro floor plan. It's one of those things where you first read its effect and you're like, I don't know, I think that's gonna be harmful to my run, and then you try it, it's like, oh, it's basically just more guaranteed money and item drops. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, of course, so it comes with a caveat, but if you're good enough at controlling crowds, because, you know, you spend most of your time learning how to dodge and counter, then there's no problem. Get out of here. No one cares about you and your snip. How's that for Jackie Chan choreography? Yeah, I don't know how many of you know this, but Jackie Chan not only does his own stunts, but he does most of the fight choreography for the movies that he's in as well. I don't know if he still does that, because, I mean, let's face it, Mr. Chan is getting up there in age, but it's something that used to happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if he at least still did the fight choreography. Could we maybe not be completely full of shit here? God, I hate you guys. Okay, this fight completely ruined me. Yes, these are the sort of problems that can happen when your enemy can move the way that counter rogues move. And when they have like frame 1 hits that they can perform against you. Excuse me. Okay, the one problem that I have with that move right there, whatever it's called, Twin Turbines, is that the enemies can counter the projectiles that you throw out, so it's possible that you'll never get that effect. There we go. Starting to look a little bit better now. Get away from me! You could alternatively view those guys with the giant blocks as just a really clingy X. I do not have a really clingy X because, unfortunately, the words that best describe my relationship status are chronically single. There we go. You are... okay, whatever. Whatever. Alright. Oh, pardon me. Alright, so we haven't found Iris yet, though there's likely not going to be an Arcana purchase being made. We also haven't found whoever's at the red portal, and we are, of course, hoping for Nox. Or it could be the first time I've seen Cremire in months, which would be interesting, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not expecting that. Okay, this room is... God damn, okay, enough! Yeah, I get it, game, you think you're awesome. Still haven't found the red portal. How much more shit do I need to go through? Oh, there's that spiked emergency kit. Simultaneously. Yeah, we're gonna do it just because I very rarely get the dependable cake, so I kinda like to have it. Problem is, it took away one of our cursed relics, so now we have... Alright, well, that was fun getting beat up. But it's to be expected. You make that much more money, so you can expect to spend some of that extra income on, you know, your healthcare. So as you guys could see there, I actually made a mistake and warped into his jet stream attack, but water cushion saved my butt. And that is one of the big reasons why I will always advocate for the water cushion. Now, this technically counts as a boss fight, so I suppose you could say that... the retro floor plan just has no effect on fixed encounters. Which, I mean, yeah, that's one way of putting it. And whereas it's technically correct, I just like to say that it just doesn't affect boss fights. Alright, anything we can pick up last minute to help out a little bit? Alright, I think we're prepared. Dice of the Nemesis immediately paid for itself. Ow. Why did I do that? See, what you just saw there was the effect of hubris. I was like, I should be able to get in there in time. And no, I wasn't able to. There we go. Alright, so that was the Frostblades episode, and hopefully you guys understand why I choose to take Frostblades as often as I do. It has very clearly been my favorite water-based basic Arcana for a while now, but Aqua Arc is starting to make a case for itself, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm pretty sure I would still rate Frostblades as higher just because it's so much more useful and versatile, but Aqua Arc can really get some damage done if you're using it right, so I don't know which one I like more. And then Ice Dagger is just kind of now floating in limbo, like I'm not sure where I would rate that. These are questions I have to consider, though, because I have to put them into a tier list order. If you recall, I said I was going to do that, and I still have every intention of doing it. But that's it for me right now, so thank you guys very much for watching and coming to spend some of your free time with me. Do the usual YouTube song and dance, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe, let me know what you think about everything that's going on, and I will catch you guys in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you